Those are the ones I would probably really defend.
Yeah, there you go.
Strongly, you know.
Well, it's funny because both of those guys called me the last summer before I moved down south here to Ventura County. And they said, we got tickets to go see Toto at Villa Montalvo and this little outdoor amphitheater. I was like, yeah, I'm in, I'll go. And I can't tell you how many people were like, really? Dude, who the hell goes to see Toto? Are you kidding me?
I bet they were great.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, no, they're amazing musicians, all of them. It was great. And that was...
their drummer is incredible.
Yeah, and they had Leland Sklar was playing bass that night for him, which he's an amazing musician as well. But to see all that happen, and a lot of people were like... And it's funny.
I've never been to that. Where's this venue?
It's in Saratoga, right out. It's in kind of that South Bay area, south of San Francisco.
Yeah,
and
I've never been there.
It's a beautiful. It's one of those... It kind of wants to be the Huntington Library in Pasadena. It has that kind of property, that kind of feel to it, but it's not nearly as, it's not that. It's, it doesn't have that some kind of art collection or anything, but the grounds have that kind of landscape and that look. And there is an outdoor amphitheater. It's beautiful with the redwood trees behind it and all that. So yeah, going there to see Toto, it was pretty fun. And then I saw friends there. They were like, I didn't know I'd see you here. And it was really kind of fun.
That's cool.
But yeah, people were like, Toto, you're going to go see Toto? Why would you? It was these guys that said, I have tickets. Do you want to go? And of course I went. But so it was funny because then David was talking about the set list a couple weeks ago. He's, we're going to do a Toto song. And Amelia goes, I know some of their stuff. I'm not sure I know it. As soon as you guys started playing that song, she's like, oh yeah, roller skating music.
totally roller skating music.
That's a great.
Oh man. All right.
Like,
so what's
perfect?
Foreigner.
Yeah.
REO Speedwagon.
There you go.
Journey. Absolute. Journey's like the king of the roller rink.
Yeah. Hall Notes too for a bit too. Yeah.
Hall Notes.
Yeah. And I know you're a big Hall Notes guy.
I love the Hall Notes.
Yeah. I think I told you that my Hall Notes story, of recent Hall Notes story, right? That the company I work for is based in Nashville, and I'm going out to Nashville a lot, and we have a suite at the Titan Stadium, and we've got a suite in Nashville where the Bridgestone Arena, where the Predators play hockey.
Oh, nice!
So occasionally we get the concert seats too. And so one of my buddies, I just start working with him, and he says, "Hey, later tonight I got tickets to the Hall & Oates concert." And I was like, "Hey, that's cool. I just flew in here. I'm going to get adjusted at time." "No, man. We're going to go see Hall & Oates tonight." I was like, "I wasn't planning on this." He said, "You understand? We got a suite. I got your tickets. You're going." I was like, okay, and we're going to take customers. We're going to go entertain them because why we have this whole suite. So it's cool. You get in there. There's booze, and it was Tears for Fears opening.
Yes, I saw that tour.
Yeah. So I'm having a few drinks and a couple of snacks and whatever's in the suite, and I wind up sitting right in the front of the balcony. By the time Hall & Oates, I was like, oh, that's a great song. I remember this one's and they sound great. Yeah. Second song, the first 40 minutes was nothing but top 40 hits, and I forgot.
They have the most top 20. Or top 10 hits of any duo ever. I think they have something like
they definitely are record holders on that. It was really cool.
Yeah, like their entire greatest hits album are top 10 hits.
It's amazing. Yeah. So it's funny. There's that concert, and this is weird how this thing keeps kind of coming up, because then we have this membership at this like social club. It's not a country club. It's not a golf. It's just some weird old Victorian house kind of thing that's been turned into a club. We have a corporate membership there, so we take the customers there for drink. And there's all these, noteworthy members' pictures on the wall, whether politicians, the mayor, whatever else, people who are CEOs of big companies and that. And of course, a lot of country music stars. And there's a picture of John Oates on the wall because he's a member at this club and he lives in Nashville. Oh, that's cool. That's John Oates. I just went to that concert 2 nights ago. Yeah. Finished up my weekend. I fly home, then I fly back out. And I for whatever reason, I'm usually a Southwest guy. I fly a lot on Southwest, but I think I waited to book my tickets too long. So I buy a ticket the next day, and I'm flying home on Delta. Okay. I get to the airport, and they're like, "Hey, for $50, you can upgrade to first class." I'm like, "Well, hey, yeah, I'm in for $50. Let's do it."
Yes, especially for that length of a flight.
Yeah. So I got a window seat, and then plopping into the aisle right next to me, it's John Oates.
Oh.
And I'm flying from Nashville to back home to L.A. Yeah. And he sits down. I'm like, "Hey, John, how's it going?" Because in my mind, I just saw the guy in this big jumbotron, and 2 nights later, his pictures on the wall at this club, and then now he's friends. And he's kind of looking at me really weird. And I finally went, "Oh, I forgot. You know what? We don't know each other." And he's like, "Okay." It was really funny. He's like, "Okay." Then I said, "But I just saw your picture on the wall at the Standard." He's like, "Oh, the Standard. I love that place. And you like magic? There's this magician that you got to go to the Magic Castle in L.A. And he's talking. And he's just rapping the whole time, and he's just really cool. Great. Really a cool guy. And he kind of it almost has like a little Brooklyn accent when he talks, kind of. Yeah. But it was really funny because he must have thought it was like some psycho or somebody was going to talk to him the whole time, which I think we did, but that wasn't my intention. It was just kind of funny. I'm like, "Hey, John," and he goes, "Hi."
That's
It's really funny.
That's great.
Yeah, super fun.
That's cool. You got to have a flight right next to Oates.
For $50. It was for a $50 upgrade. Why not? Wow. You never know who you're going to sit next to.
For $50, you can sit next to John Oates for the entire flight.
Can you imagine? Right. That'd be great. And for $150, you can not sit next to Gilbert Gottfried because or whatever it would be.
I would definitely pay the $100.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. Well, tell me, what was your first guitar?
I still have it, actually.
You do?
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
It's nothing fancy, but for me it was. It's a Takamine classical, and my parents were that way. They never wanted to buy the cheapest thing, but you weren't going to get the best thing either, right? So somebody was telling him, you don't buy your kid who thinks he's going to learn to play guitar a big Martin. You just don't.
Yeah.
And somebody was, they did their research. Nylon strings are a little easier on kids than steel strings, and even though my kind of playing has never really fit a classical or flamenco style picking, but I think a lot of kids start on those nylon string guitars. Yes. But yeah, it was, and it's still got the little stamp in there, made in 1978, which means I got it on my 10th birthday when it was brand new.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have it in the old chipboard case, and it doesn't get played a lot, but it gets played a little bit. It still comes out once in a while because it was my first guitar. You keep it, right? Yeah. Do you have your first guitar still?
No, I don't have my first drums. I don't. Oh man, now I just sound.
No, you got a lot of. I've noted, like I was talking about.
Well, I guess I do have my first guitar. Yeah, my first guitar is a Yamaha acoustic. I still have it. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I do have my first.
I
guitar.
figured you had.
I got it in like 1999 in the summer. I was in college. I went down. I helped my mom paint their vacation condo that they had in on the Gulf Coast in Bradenton.
Yeah,
and I helped her paint the whole place, and we got done, and she's like, "Let's go out and do something for you," and stuff like that. And we went and we stopped in this music shop, and I saw this guitar that I wanted, and the guy had it for a good deal, and she's like, "I'll get you that. You busted your butt," and so she got me this guitar for helping her paint the place. And I remember episode 1 of Star Wars had come out, and so we got the guitar. We went and got some lunch somewhere. No, we went to Brian's seafood shack, and then we went and saw episode 1, which is by far the worst Star Wars movie.
That's right,
and it's not even close. It's just
that's the Darth Maul thing, right? Wasn't that what he was in episode 1, right?
I think,
or Jar Jar Binks or something.
Yes,
yeah,
Jar Jar Binks.
Never figured that out either. But yeah, okay. So
yes, that is the Voldemort of Star Wars characters.
That's right.
That of whom we do not speak.
That's right.
Yeah, he's terrible. That's it. I got that, and I still have it.
It's cool.
Yeah, I played a lot of guitar on that.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had so many different.
Some
guitars.
of these are actually.
No, by the way, you brought that out. That is the.
This was Steve Stevens' guitar.
So the Fernandez rubber jig, isn't that what that's called?
Yeah, I believe so. It actually belongs to my buddy Matt Phillips.
Yeah.
I have this little side gig doing a guitar company that we're about to start selling some guitars, and
cool.
And he's the luthier. He's the one physically making them. So
right on.
But yeah, he left that here a while back, and he's just like, I've been playing this one too much. I need to play some of my other guitars. You can keep it here for a while, and so I've just been holding it here.
How did you wind up with a guitar that now is it that's the same model, or that's the guitar?
That was Steve Stevens' guitar.
It was.
Yeah.
How did you wind up with one of Stevie Stevens' guitars?
How did Matt end up with it is really the right story. So he was living in Texas, and he's a really super shredding guitar player, and he won some guitar competition, and I think this was the prize.
Oh wow!
And he has a photo of him standing with Steve Stevens holding this guitar, with this big, shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah,
all excited to meet Steve Stevens because he's huge. Steve Stevens was Billy Idol.
Yeah, right? That's right.
And he's number one.
And I think he also played with Michael Jackson on studio stuff that he did. Yeah, great studio musician. Yeah,
and Matt's number one is definitely Billy Idol. So for him to win this Steve Stevens guitar, this is it's a special thing for him. So
very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't move to LA with any drums. I didn't move out here to be a musician or anything like that. I sold all my drums before I moved. I don't think I have any of them. And I'm definitely, by far, I am good enough at guitar to know that I suck. I'm pretty decent at drums, and I'm okay at singing. But yeah, guitar, when I put the studio together and I knew I was doing it to be a treatment room and to be a place to record music and stuff like that. I was like, well, I should have a few guitars on the wall. Just, people come over and we're going to play or we're going to record and we need a variance on the sound. I'm like, just grab a guitar off the wall and do something, play the same thing again, but just use a different guitar. We'll get a different tone.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because David's first bass, it was a Fernandez, and I was trying to tell him how there was, I was giving him the whole Fernandez thing, and that one somehow came up. And that's when he said, no, it's not like Stevie Stevens. I'm like, how? So now thank you for the story. That's great. Yeah. It's funny. I saw Stevie one time.
I think White Wedding was actually recorded with that
guitar. Yeah.
That exact guitar.
Yeah, I saw him, of all things, he was with Vince Neil.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Vince Neil goes on tour because, I don't know, Motley Crue broke up for a bit or whatever, and it was like an incidental thing. I recognized him. And I didn't even know he was playing with Vince Neil, but he was on tour. They were opening for Van Halen, and I probably saw a lot of Van Halen show. I mean, not probably. I did see a lot of Van Halen, but both David Lee Roth and then during the Sammy Hagar thing. And
wow!
In fact, that was funny. I was trying to tell David once there was a year that I saw in the same calendar year, Alice in Chains had opened up for Van Halen, and Van Halen fans are like really difficult. It doesn't matter who opens for them; they're always like, "Come on, get on with it and get off the stage, quit making noise." And
that doesn't sound surprising.
It doesn't matter. In fact, I'll never forget the first show I went and saw them. Like 83, 84, there's a band called the Velcros. They look like the Romantics. Remember that goofy, like, pompadour hairstyle, leather jackets and trying to play this rockabilly flavored stuff. And they weren't bad, but everybody booed them and threw stuff at them. Every time I went to, one time it was BTO open for them. They were great, but people were like, hey, come on, get on with it. So I see Alice in Chains and I thought they were amazing, but people were still yelling and booing. And about 7 months later, they opened for Ozzy. And same set, same stuff, same people loved them. Like, they were great. So that's when I realized, like, man, the last gig you want is to open for Van Halen. I don't think you don't want that one. It seems,
you don't want to open for Van Halen.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What is your daughter doing? Now, is she in high school? I haven't.
No, she'd be in junior high. And in fact, it's always kind of just like David's
David.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, she's just turned 12, and David, as you know, had his 15th his 15th birthday here.
Gotcha.
And she's a piano player. She works, on pretty hard on playing piano. She does a great job with that.
Nice.
David actually started. I want to say both of them started playing piano. And then
I did too.
Yeah, I did too. And I really wish I would have paid any attention. Once I started noodling on a guitar, I never even was really trained or took lessons. I took a lesson, tune it. Here's an open chord. Here's a music book. And then it was over, right? But I wish I would have stayed with the piano thing and didn't. But she's doing really well at that. She's I think she's, again, a great musician. She's a great kid. And she's just she's got a lot more of a process-oriented brain, right? David's kind of, it's so funny how you can have two kids, right, that are so close in age, coming from the same gene pool, right? And they're different people, man.
Totally
and
different.
It's really cool. She's got a great sense of humor. She's like I said, she's really working on her right now. She's really gotten into cooking and the food quite a bit. She's always been into puppets. She does puppetry. That's one of her little fun things.
Wow.
To do funny voices and imitate. Like I said, she's a really funny kid, really smart kid.
I receive all information now colored by the Jam. I'm like, how do we get her to do a puppet show? I'm like, that'd be amazing.
It'd be amazing. It'd be pretty funny, right?
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd promote it on Nextdoor, but like, bring your kids. The first 10 minutes are going to be a puppet show, or something like that.
And she's been to the Jam a few times, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, she's that person that where if, she can come out and hang out and like the music and all that. And of course, it's her brother doing that. And so she's supportive of that.
Yeah.
But if she's got another friend coming over and they're going to do something and watch a movie and bake something or make food and hang out and swim and just talk, she's much more, she'd rather be with a tight-knit group or just a one-on-one situation with somebody than but you've seen her. She's come down here and ridden her bike and done the thing and checked it out. She learned how to surf this summer, which is really cool. That's kind of a cool thing. So she's, that was one of her birthday gifts. She got a new surfboard.
That's awesome.
And so she definitely loves the water.
Talk to me about surfing. Sonia's infatuated with it and
she really?
Yeah, she really wants to learn how to do it. I don't know how, but I grew up skateboarding and snowboarding and stuff. I imagine I could pick it up pretty quickly.
You totally could, I'm sure.
How strong of a swimmer does she need to be? I would think you need to be a pretty strong swimmer to be trying to surf.
And I've always been, I guess, a water person, but more around boats.